he was talking like nobody remembered him, and he was just forgotten. And I had to sit there and like say, brother, are you freaking nuts? Like, I'm a wrestling fan. There was one Mr. Wonderful. Like, nobody has forgotten you. But that's what happens, bro. These guys are in the limelight for so long. All of a sudden, it's over. And now they fall back in the shadows. And that's where the depression sinks in. So when something like this happens, it's freaking awesome for them.
All right, let's go back to the 7th grade level of wrestling talk here. Let's talk about Lex Luger and Fred Ottman reportedly going to the Hall of Fame. Well, WWE already mentioned Lex Luger. So yeah, again, I'm going to defer to Vince Russo to start, Hall of Fame stuff. Here we go, man. What do you think?
No, bro, I listen, I think it's a joke. I've made that clear. I think it's an absolute joke. However, I know it means a lot to those that get inducted. I know it means a lot. Like, listen, bro, I know it meant a lot to Eric. And I was the first one to say, bro, congratulations. I said, congratulations. I know what it means to you. So a guy like Lex, man, especially what it's been through, bro, it means a lot to him. And, bro, when you talk about Fred Ottman, man, like what flowers has he gotten over the last 30 years? Like zero. So it really means a lot to these guys later in life. I mean, it really does. And I'm happy for them, man. I'm really, really happy for them because they really do look at it as a pinnacle. I swear to God, Chris, I can remember, man, one of the last conversations I had with Paul Orndorff. And bro, I'm having this conversation with him, and he was talking like nobody remembered him, and he was just forgotten. And I had to sit there and like say, brother, are you freaking nuts? Like, I'm a wrestling fan. There was one Mr. Wonderful. Like, nobody has forgotten you. But that's what happens, bro. These guys are in the limelight for so long. All of a sudden, it's over. And now they fall back in the shadows. And that's where the depression sinks in. So when something like this happens, it's freaking awesome for them. And I'm very, 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 very happy for Fred Ottman and Lex. I think it's great for them, man.
Wonderful.
I met Ken Patera maybe 6 months ago at a show, and I had that same sort of kind of feeling. Like he lost identity or something. To the aspiring professional wrestler too, this is a lot of advice I get. It's like, no matter how bad you want this and how you'll do anything to do it, and you're going to go all the way, great. But for your own sanity, have something else you love. Yeah. Because when this is bad, it's the worst. And I learned that a little late, but at the same time, I'm writing a book. I'm doing something to like.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So find something just that you love, even like.
Is he in the Hall of Fame?
I believe so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Yeah, good. He was, bro. That's another name. Never gets talked about. Never gets mentioned, bro. He was great.
Awesome.
Yep. Yeah. I think you bring up a really good point, EC3. No, he's not actually.
No, come on. He's got to be, bro. Are you kidding me?
He's in my Hall of Fame with Studley jacked.
Oh, he was
strong,
bro. Oh, that would be criminal if he's not in the Hall of Fame. Man.
He was a freak of nature as a strength athlete too.
Wow, no, he's not.
Man, bro, come on, bro. Come on. Seriously, man.
Bizarre.
That's very
bizarre. Needs to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's wow. I thought he was. I mean, that's wild.
That's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Wow. You bring up a really good point there, EC3. Just having something else, man. I think that's really what it boils down to, at least what it should boil down to. Make sure. Why does it seem like it's choppy now? Do y'all see me?
No, we're good. We're good on. Yeah, it's perfect.
looking great.
You'll see me. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it appears, man, like a lot of those people, and I've interviewed over 400 wrestlers, most of them legendary wrestlers, and it just seems like there's a lot of that mentality of like, man, my life, like my livelihood is based on the adulation of the fans, you know, and it's a really unfortunate type of high that once you lose it, you get so withdrawn from it that you really start to have a lot of depressive episodes, just like an opioid, just like any other substance, you know what I mean? And it's really unfortunate, man. And it's like the good news about that when it comes to like 2025 is that a lot of these legendary wrestlers can really capitalize on the content creation piece of it. There's a ton of, I mean, you mentioned the book, EC3. There's a ton of wrestlers that got so many road stories that can make so many headlines and they can write books about.
The craziest stories we've probably ever heard or never heard belong to, you know, the guys that paved the road in wrestling.
Yes.
Like, just based on conversations I've had or heard by proxy.
Yep.
I'm like, how are they not in jail? Or
for sure,
how
man.
are they alive? Or where is that body buried? Albuquerque? That's wild.
Yeah,
man. I think it's definitely one of those things, man. That a lot of the content creation, like for instance, I was just watching Devon's YouTube page, man. He's killing it on YouTube, man. I think he's doing a really, really good job. And so he's taken that Maven type of model and he's really running with it, man. Just kind of breaking the fourth wall enough, you know what I mean, to get us intrigue and to breadcrumb us and allure us that way. And so, yeah, I think he's doing a wonderful job, man. So the content creation piece is there. I mean, I saw Eugene is, doing some content now. Of course, Stevie Richards is killing it, man. He's doing a wonderful job within his content creation too. So that's good, man. That's a really good thing. EC3, could you ever see yourself? I'm sure you got tons of road stories, man. Even with your time, could you see yourself kind of breaking the fourth wall and going into that line of content creation?
Yeah, I would say, like, within respect to the industry, breaking the fourth wall, because I don't know. I don't want to go on pay-per-view and say the matches are fake. I mean, I'm not going to be mad if somebody that doesn't understand the business says it, but and because our time was so much tamer, even than like Devon's or Maven's time, like everything was under pretty firm control compared to back then. For us, I wouldn't hate facilitating to some of these, guys. And even you just mentioning all the content, like an idea just popped in my mind because from like OVW to FCW, NXT, Heartland, like all these developmental systems that WWE had, like there are some crazy people that had contracts to the WWE that you don't know that are like, well, how did they get there? In FCW, we'd call them legends. But then I just started thinking, like, if I can go talk to, people from each territory, the guys I know, and like, remember Gustav? Like, what do you, and like, tell like the story of Gustav when we tricked him into taking a bunch of niacin and he had to go out there and he's beat red and he didn't understand why, because he, like, the ribs he pull on these legends, or like Lee Fang, shout out, like, it would be hilarious. And then in the same retrospect, collecting old timers' road stories, whether they want them to be like, this is me telling the story, or we will redact some names, but this is a true as hell story and we're going to tell you, and identities are protected. I think that'd be a television show too.
It would be pretty cool, man. Well, you're only a couple hours away from me, my brother. If you need a studio, just let me know, man. Yeah, speaking of the road stories, man, there's the three people that I love talking to on the phone for hours in my 15 years of being a journalist, man. Three people that's all the time in my head, that just gave me road stories for hours. Greg Gagne, Bill Dundee, Black Bart. Those are the three people that I would talk on the phone with for an hour, and they gave me road story after road story after road story after road story. And there's so much I know that people don't know that I know about them that is just hilarious, absolutely hilarious, man. So shout out to Black Bart. Unfortunately, he passed away, and man, he leaves so much. But yeah, man, I loved talking to them on the phone. So there's so much content that's out there with these wrestlers, you know, that they can really get a good producer. Man, they could be making a bunch of money on YouTube, man.
Some of these stories are so incredible. You don't want them to go to the grave. I mean, some might have to, or it's parody, but
yeah. Cool. All right, we got EC3. We got Vince, Russo. I'm Dr. Chris. This is the wrestling. There's that penis point again, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want the Wigglies. I don't want the case of the Wigglies. So low.